tuned into the I.M.A.G.E TV podcast, episode number 65. And we're here at the Iowa Prison to Pipeline Criminal Justice Reform Seminar. We are having a beautiful time. We've got great guest speakers. We've heard from Pastor Bell. We've heard from Joe Johnson. We've heard from many others. Marcus McIntosh from News Channel 8. Stay tuned as we continue to bring you all this action live on location. Our next speaker here, parole is very, very important. Probation is very important. Formal probation kind of lines up almost with parole as far as the violation, or as far as the rules that you have to abide by. So our next speaker here, again, from Waterloo, Iowa. You know, and when I was thinking about this seminar here, I thought, man, what a great pleasure to have Brother Anthony Cole here. This man not only overcame a lot of adversity in prison, but I remember when he had times, when I first got there, he was serving, I think, a 45, 50-year sentence, and with a long mandatory. He was in the Iowa Court of Appeals, hoping to get out. I was in Fort Dodge Correctional Facility. There was a whole lot of chaos going on at this time. And this was, I believe, in like 2003, 2004, around that area where there's a lot of gangs all walking around the yard. There was a whole lot of fights every single day, and all we could try to think of, or all the staff was trying to think of, is what they could do to try to hold this down. So they allowed inmates to implement programs. Brother Elmo was one of those people that implemented the Leaders Program. And he had the Leaders Program there. And again, like I told you before, they had different things that they brought to the institution, like ice cream and food for people to buy, gave us different privileges. However, I noticed that he was going through a lot of pressure. And he had people antagonizing. And I sat back and I watched that from a distance. You know, he had people jealous, mad because he had a program in there, mad because his program wasn't like their program or didn't add up to whatever. And they looked at him as being cocky or arrogant, and they just made up excuses because they couldn't look at him for what he was doing and accept the fact that the brother was doing something positive. Yes. So who better to tell his own story than to let Anthony Cole, a.k.a. Elmo, tell his story. So I am proud to announce him at this seminar, Anthony Cole.
Well, I want to say good morning. It's an honor and privilege to share time and space with you. Everything was spoken today, from probation to parole to the medical, everything. I'm going to say these before I go. The Bible says, God says, Jesus says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Yes. And I want to say, if the fish knew the hook was under, you know what I'm saying? If the fish knew the hook was under the fish knew the hook was under the worm, you take the bait. And the root word of ignorance is ignore. All these things I'm telling you is going to come into my story. I'm going to start off with this. My father died at 8 years old, who was supposed to teach me how to be a man. When he died, I became angry and emotional. My mom did everything in her power to try to teach me and guide me. But she couldn't give the proper healing I need to be able to deal with death. So if life goes on, I end up getting to the streets looking for that father figure. They didn't understand I was getting into two death sentences where I lost my father, but I was to lose my life for myself if I continued this. 14-year-old, I met a guy in a little small club in Waterloo, selling drugs. The guy played back football for U.N.I. from Chicago. At that time, I joined the gang. Joining the gang, I looked at it as, okay, this is the opportunity for me. He got drugs to become what I dreamed to be. And the reason why I dreamed to be that, because when I found out my dad wasn't just, to me, he was my dad. But in Detroit, he was seen as a legend. When I found out about the person that I looked up to, I wanted to follow in his footsteps. But I'm going to tell you about the story I'm telling you. I'm going to say this before I get to the end. Be careful who you choose your role model. That's all I'm going to say. Yes. As I continue on the journey, 15 years old, I'm doing my thing in Waterloo. I'm setting out to be one of the biggest drug dealers ever in Waterloo. This is not a bragging session. This is to let you know the ignorancy and the lack of knowledge, what I did and what I became. And I'm going to show you in the end how I turned it around. I'm in these streets, I'm getting praise and honor. People look at me different. I'm getting all this accolades from people because what I'm doing and what they're seeing me, materialistic things. So as life goes on, let's fast forward. I'm in the game, I'm doing things, I'm major. What happens is this. I get into a situation. One night I'm going into a girlfriend's house at the time, in 2000, October 26th. As I go into her building, I approach, as I go in there, 3 masked men. As I go into her door, 2 masked men at the time had 9mm pistols and they lured me to the house. They go back and get her from the bedroom. They pull the gun and she thought we'd be playing around with it. And they said, no, it's a robbery. They brought her into the living room with me. We're both in the living room. Third cell can come in. They pistol me like paid in full, beat me side the head, asking for money. I'm acting like I'm just a college student. But they was aware of who I was a little bit. It was a little homework. So I'm in there, I'm bleeding from blood running down the fushes down my head. So one of the guys ran into the kitchen. I like him off the faint. He gets some water, give me a drink, and he goes up and goes back in there, get a towel, throw my head, and duct tapes. They said we want money. When they do that, okay, I'm thinking, all right, they ain't playing. So what I do is this. I get the phone. I make a phone call. So my whole purpose is to get out this house and hopefully that I can try to get somebody can see it or they'll save me, whatever. So at the time, I made the phone call. The other 2 leave. The other 2 leave. They took my girlfriend at the time, whipped them, threw her in the trunk of her car. I know at the time. I know it now. Threw her in the trunk of her car. So when they got their vehicle, so I'm left with this one guy who gave me the water. I'm duct taped, hands behind my back and the feet. And I convinced him. I said, look here, the big guy, stop playing. I said, if he comes back and you know what I'm saying, if you go down these steps, I fall, he might off me. I don't want to die. I want to try to get this money y'all came for. But before I'm going to go back, before all this happened, I was speaking to God before we left the house. I told God, I said, the only thing I'm guilty of is being a drug dealer. I said, the lady with me done nothing. I said, I ain't done nothing that deserving this right here, this punishment right here. But I said, if this is what you want to happen to my life because of the choice I made, then let it be me, not her. So now, go back to what I was talking about. You all get into the car. The guy they left me with, I convinced him to take it off my feet, cut it off. He agreed with it. You don't want me to fall down the steps and make noise and get anybody to come and see what's going on. As I'm in the backseat of the car, the other 2 guys, the trailer in the car, my girlfriend at the time, what she was, the other guy that cut the tape off, he was riding. And we get up a little ways, hit the gear, and I grab him around the neck. The car, just, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm not thinking. So the guys behind me, I'm taking too long. They stopped the car stopped, they jump out, and the guy said, you're dead now. At the time, I had some Timberland boots on, I never tied them. And I kicked him. And when I kicked him, so luckily I didn't tie it, he grabbed the boot and he fell back. He didn't grab me. So I jumped in the car and I ran. Make a long story short, what I want to get to the point is that when I said be careful who you choose to roll by, the same thing could happen to you or worse. My dad died because he was a drug dealer. 2 sailors broke his home and took his life. As for me, these guys tried to take my life. I done nothing to deserve this. But envy, when you're in that game, envy, what happens to the point that these weak-minded individuals, they get jealous, and jealousy is emotion. They will do whatever to take whatever from you. And this guy told me, in that situation, he told me he hated me. When someone hates you, I knew I was going to die. I had no other reason to think I was going to live in that situation. But by the grace of God, he heard me that day. Even though I didn't serve him. But you know what I'm saying? The Lord will never leave you forsaken. You call on him, he will be there. He understands your struggle in life. He understands the things you go through. And all God want to do sometimes is he allow you to be in situations, dark situations that you never want to be in. To allow you to come on to him, become one with him. He tried to get my attention the whole time I was in this game. Before all that, I'm in Chicago, I get caught for $100,000. They take the money. I tell the police, go buy some cop cars. I'm cocky. Not cocky where I'm like I'm better than no one. He was like, go, you know. So I didn't sign off on the money. If you don't sign off on the money, you can't get it. You can't get they can't arrest you for it. For money laundering, anything like that. Because it's not legal to have money. But anyway, fast forward back to what I was talking about. After that situation, all I wanted to do was get the people who did this to me. So it's already planted in my head to hurt someone. I never told the woman that was with me in that day. I never even acted and talked about that robbery. Went on with life like it never happened. You know why? because I was taught wrong. I was taught to be tough. I was taught to never question anything. Suck it up, be a man. Well, let me tell you what I learned in that situation. Even as a man, you can cry. Crying shows growth. Because you think about the sky, the clouds up there. When it rains, the grass grows. Crying shows growth just like it on earth. It's symbolic to that. And so as I'm continuing on, I'm angry and mad. Outside the nightclub, the situation unrolls where I shot 2 people. March 3rd, shot 2 people. Went on the run for a few hours. Hey, I'm in Chicago. Man, you got money, man. They pay your bond. Get out and fight this from the street. You know what I mean? You can't run forever. For the ex-police officer I knew down the tour. You right. Come on. Called the bond and set it up. Yeah, give me this. I'll get you out. And guess what? When I got there, it made it seem like it was a trap. I can't touch you. They want $1 million cash on me. I didn't know all this. I turned myself in thinking I'm getting out, and here I felt like I just got trapped. But anyway, it was all for a reason. As I'm fighting this trial, I'm facing 110 years. Throughout that trial, because the 10 years was a lesser included of one of the charges, they had to drop it, so now it went to 100. 31 years old, facing 110 years. Now 100 years this time, with a 60, almost 70-year mandatory on this. I'll be 96 to 100 years old when I see the parole board. Who would live that long in prison? So I'm in prison, I got Pierce. I got Eric at this time, Eric Pierce. As I'm going through court, I'm losing every battle, it seems like. I haven't even went to God watch since I've been. Losing every battle. After that, one hearing, CO, who walks me across the skywalk, he said, man, I know who you are. He said, they talk about Anthony Cole, I know Elmo. I said, what do you mean? He said, you live a good life, man. You're good at what you do. He said, I was investigating with the feds to take you down in 2000 with the other guys. He said, we watch you go in houses and coming out of houses. And he said, you never did anything. Even though we know you didn't have no license, we had no proper cause to pull you over. It never gave suspicion that you had anything on. Now here it is, I knew the feds was after me. I knew. But just knowing that here's someone clarifying this dude, watching. You know what I did when he took the chains off? I went inside my cell. And I got on my knees. That's the day I went to God. After I got done praying, talking to God, my mom visited me. She said, boy, you can't rely on your money or your lawyer. This is the time to rely on the greatest lawyer you ever had, and that's Jesus. And I agree with her. Things started changing around for the court system. As I go through this court system, boom, I'm going through. Now, the 100 years after the trial, I end up with 60 years. But during that trial, I experienced injustice. What made me mad, because when I walk in the courtroom, it says on the sign, the big pillar, in God we trust. Here's the Lord, here is the judge who really got on this earth to be. Mimic Jesus, giving justice, which is giving fairness, which is giving justice. And he didn't do it. The law says it has a right to a fair trial. Wasn't giving that. My lawyer was so upset throughout the trial because the county attorney and the judge, like he was working together, but they all passed the same law. To make sure that person they wanted so bad off the streets, they wanted for many things they couldn't get him for because God wouldn't allow it to happen. You know what they did? They had me. It was like they're going to trap me. So since they had me, they tried to play with my life. But I fought myself because I gave them that chance to play with my life. So 100 years went from 60. Even though they tried to do me wrong, I ended up getting 60 years out of that 100. So in sentencing, the judge, he looks at me. He said, Mr. Cole, if I can give you more time, I will. You will never change. So when I looked at him, I looked back and I seen my children, my mother. I thought about slavery. How these men tried to break these men in front of their women and children. The people that looked at them as a king or somebody to protect, show they can do fight. And I went off. I said, Emperor, was you there? You wasn't present that night, have you? You wasn't there. I said, ooh, and my lawyer's like, be quiet. Hey, Mr. Cole, I'm going to give you attempted court. I didn't care about that. You already gave me 60 years. I didn't care about that. I went on, I said, I pray that whatever happens in your life don't get somebody close to you, but it don't destroy it, but it makes you feel it to the point that it changes your life to how you treat people. So boom. Since we hit the gavel, I walked out. Angry, emotional. I went to Oakdale. Went to Fort Madison. Fort Madison to me was like people I knew from Waterloo. So, man, I thought about my journey. I got 20-year mandatory. 20-year mandatory. So I got there. I'm in Fort Madison. I'm kind of emotional, angry. Boom. I really didn't do too much a little bit at a time. I just went through life. Wasn't miserable. Wasn't thinking about nothing crazy. I didn't get involved in the program. Wasn't trying to hurt me get involved with God. So what happened is one day I'm on the phone and I called my 5-year-old daughter who I raised. Had a very great relationship like the father and the son had. And she wasn't high spirits. So I asked her, what's the matter? I said, what do you want? You know, I spoiled her because what I wore, she wore. I said, what you want, another mink coat? You want some Gucci sweaters? You want some more platinum earrings? What do you want? I'm thinking that as a father, what makes her happy is things that I give her. And she paused. She said, you promised? I said, Dad would give us Angie anything she wanted. And when she told me what she wanted was the turning point of my life. She said all she wanted was me. Because the time I spent with her was most valuable than anything that I ever gave. And I started crying for the first time in my life. Even being wild, I didn't cry. Tears coming out of my eyes. And my friend on the phone, he's looking at me, the buzzer ring. Now we got to go back in because I was a child at the time. And I go to my cell, I get on my knees, I start talking to God. At the time, after I got done crying and all that, going through that, getting it out, I cleaned up on the unit. And I went around the corner of the unit, of the tier, the older guy. His name was Ali Henderson. And before I move on, I'm going to say this. When I came into prison, that's how I met this gentleman. When I came into prison, he worked in the receiving unit. And I'm like, yeah, man, they gave me this time. I'm telling you about what happened. And excuses. You know what he said to me? You had choices before you've done it. Me being who I am, coming through the joint, they heard about me, they praised me. And people agree with you. That's what they do on the streets. They agree with you. They make you feel that everything you do and say is right when they know you're wrong.
Yes, that's right.
And I got that, and I'm taking this in the joint, and this guy told me, you had a choice. You had different choices before you did. And I told him, get the F away from me. He walked off peacefully. But that man became my mentor, my best friend. Fast forward back to that situation. And that guy, when I hit the cell, the range, he told me. He said, what's the matter? He could see it in my eyes. My daughter said this now. He's like, he jumped him. Yeah, tell him keep whooping. And that's the day I found out that God knew that my heart was so hard. The only person that could unharden that heart, he would work through to say things to get me to come in, to come on in, to come on. Was my daughter.
That's right.
And that was a change point in my life.
Awesome. I
got down there. I wanted to get out of here. So I went down to Fort Dodge, started the program, leaders program at Bobby. And like you said, the mornings would start clicking. But I had a different mindset. I wanted to teach men the things that I know. That I want to share with what men down there that had life sense. That miserable should be miserable and shouldn't care what nobody else take home with. You're in here with me. I don't want you to leave. Gave me knowledge, wisdom, understanding because they wanted me not to be in there and be like them. Because I found out that knowledge is know the ledge, knowing how far you can go in life. Wisdom is a wise dome. That means that you understand, you listen to what you heard, and you respect it, and you honor it, and you're going to take it and use it. So I started this program. I went to the institution. They allowed me to sell ice cream. I said, what I'm going to do with the funds of the ice cream funds, I'm going to give back to the community. So what I was doing was giving back to DSOC, battered women and children. I was giving 5,000, 3,000 people, giving to these communities because this is the purpose. I was always a giver in life. I was seeing how God was using me. Even though I was selling drugs, he saw the goodness in me. I was always helping people, and he allowed me to come in here and do this. Before I became part of my program, he started the Bible college. I went to Bible college, like, come on in. I went, graduated from Victory Bible College. The first time in my life, I ever wore a cap and gown. I didn't graduate from high school. Fast forward in life. While I was there, I did everything I could. I dealt with what I dealt in the street, jealousy, envy. People didn't want to see me make it. But I was determined to make it. get down to Rockville, went there 5 years before I got my mandatory was up because people believed in me. I did that. Normally after 20 years in prison, you have to see the parole board. They want to kind of get a psychological, mental, just see where you're at. See what you're saying. See, I wrote them. What I wrote them was so great that I didn't have to see them. They gave me a release. They were saying that what I have on paper, if I live it out, I'll never see prison. And I told them my goals was this. That was everything I wrote down. At the end, I said, these are my goals, and this is what goals are. Getting out and living successful. January 9th, 2023, my lovely wife, who did this 10 years with me, came to pick me up. And I told myself when I went through that gate, I could be two things, better or better, and I chose to be better. Because I chose to be better because I knew who I was. What I thought the version of a real man was the street version. And the street, you got to understand about that. That stuff that we hear from the street, knowledge, all that stuff they talk about, that's a man who lack value, thinking lacking value is worthy of value. We always talking about snitching. Man, he's snitching, he doing. You know this gospel is a form of snitching. It's a form of telling somebody something they wasn't present. What for you to tell somebody else's business? We got to look at all these things are symbolic. Quit holding on to this stupidity out here. Because if somebody robbed you, work hard for. Bill Gates gonna call the police and don't care what type of snitch you call him. He gonna make sure he continue to live and take care of his family and thrive. We need to stop letting these streets, all this stuff they talking about, go. Be a human being, be a man. Honor your children. Be loving, driven, responsible. Honor the persons that's here for you. When I did this bit, the people that was there for me, I came home, the monsters I created, my family taking care of them, buying me anything they want, it was all over. I didn't do nothing, they will. Since I left, they didn't do nothing with life. So now I'm home, they want this, well, work for it. I'm showing them that you got to get up and work hard for what you want. I'm giving them instruction, because I was given instruction, life direction by people in prison. Every information they gave me allowed me to structure my life. So when I get home, I started right away. I didn't hit the ground running. Hit the ground walking. Observation. Slow motion is better than no motion. I'm not in a hurry for nothing. I'm trying to scope the land, trying to find out what's going on, who's what's what, and where's that fertile ground that I can help build something on, help people on. Started my LLC. Got my own janitorial business. Working for this company. The company I'm working for, I clean up there for in the morning. They gave me $100,000 free life insurance policy. I have to pay for it. This is what I showed them who I was, and they gave it to me. I got a clothing line called Real Life that I created in prison. And I'm like, what am I going to name this clothing line? And I thought about it. Real life, everything you've been through. And real life is recognizing everyone, and loyalty isn't for everyone. We got to understand just because loyalty is here doesn't everyone don't honor that. They don't want to be that. Clothing line is doing decent and fair. And like I said, since I've been home, the greatest thing happened to me is that the same prison that housed me, I went to a hearing at Beth Skinner and had, and people was complaining about the prison system. Their family members was telling me, and I told them the truth. Yeah, a lot of them he's lying to you. It ain't as bad as they say it is. See, prison is not an asset to them because they're not doing nothing while they're in there. Say it's a liability, but to me, prison was an asset. I had staff members, I had people that believed in me and saw me through my body of work, that I was serious about the things I was saying, that helped me, set me up. So I got out of prison. My friend who's part of the parole board came into prison, and when he came into Rockville City for a hearing, he asked the warden, do you know Anthony Cole? He said, yeah, that's a good guy right there. Brought him over to my unit, I swear. Brought him over to my unit, I heard a guy say, Anthony Cole. I looked around, and here he was. Went up to the admin's building, the administration building, and we talked. And since I've been home, we got up together, and you know what I did? I went to that meeting with Beth Skinner, and I spoke the truth. Standing ovation. Something I wasn't even looking for, didn't care about that. I'm here to tell my story. And I was able to go inside Rockville City, Fort Dodge, Anamosa, as a DOC staff, not pat it down, keep my phone while and everything. This is what when you make that, find that life direction and future expectation, your world can change for the better. And those who you think would help you can help you. Lady named Nettie Renshaw, they said she's the meanest person in Fort Dodge. She ain't nothing but negative. I went in there every day. I go in her office. You know what she do? She give me books and she challenged me. She mentored me, helped me. If I would have listened to people that didn't have no life purpose, no life direction, that was in the prison just to be there, wait for their day to come and get released, I would never met her. I would never been in Fort Dodge a year prior to what I was expecting. These are the blessings you can get. Surround yourself around good, positive people. Came home, all those that was my friend, before I left, the ones that didn't write me, the ones that stay in touch, I told them, I love you, but you're dead to me. When I say dead to me, it doesn't mean I won't help you. I'm just saying, we ain't got nothing to talk about no more. I acquired new friends. My friends that I acquired right today, in real estate, clothing store. They own the car lots, running temp services, giving people jobs. And the guy who runs the temp service, my program allowed him to come inside. And when he came inside to speak, because he was a prisoner in Fort Dodge, got out and did the right thing with the college. And you know what? He's doing good, so I got him back inside. And after he left, I connected with people in prison and him. So when you leave prison, I call him up, and if you're in the wall area, I got a job waiting for you. These are the type of things that I was trying to do because I knew what I want to do when I come home. So I'm surrounding myself around great people. Real estate, car lots, clothing store, that's what I want, all that's coming. But I got to take my time and do these things I'm doing first to get to where I want to be and need to be. So in this world, whatever you do, start to become something. But don't stay becoming something. You have to be something. That's the transition into life where you studied your vision, you know what you want to do, you worked your craft, and you went from becoming to become.
That's right. That's right.
Life is a privilege. It's not something that's given to you because everybody don't make it. They said every 9 seconds, it's every 6 seconds, 9 children are born to this world, but other 3 would die. So just at that moment you was born. You was the chosen one because somebody lost their life because God said it wasn't supposed to make it. So when you start seeing life as a privilege, the people around you that help you, your relationship is a privilege, start respecting these things. I have something to compare life freedom to this time around. I went to prison. Prison's like a womb. It's dark in there. They can get lonely. You can die in prison. Just because you're doing a short time doesn't mean that. It's like in your mother's womb. But I didn't die. I made it out. I made it out of prison. And I'm here in the flesh when I wasn't supposed to be here because in that robbery, the haters tried to get me. I could have been dead, supposed to be, and was supposed to be. I'm going to say this at the end, and this is the thing about medical. I'm in Fort Dodge. I wake up in the morning. I can't see. I call my cellular. He's not available. He's gone. My eyelids is drooped over my eyes. Guard heard me. What's the matter? I said, I can't see. So boom, the left eyelid comes up. Take me over to medical. You just working out too hard, you know, get your body, just get some rest. Gave me some Tylenol. See, it's like a headache. Yeah. They give you Tylenol. Tylenol is a manifestation of the problem. Don't solve the problem. You want to know why that headache is coming. It's like cutting an artery, putting a Band-Aid on. Yeah. Temporary fix. I'm weighing 225 pounds. Walk around, my shirt now I'm just shrinking. Can't eat, can't swallow, can't chew. It got so bad, man. I kept complaining, it wouldn't do nothing for me. I had to be pushed over to my visit. I ain't had to take my clothes off because I was too weak to put my pants up or anything. But luckily I had my brother in the institution with me and friends from Waterloo. They allowed this, they respected me, but they allowed me to come into the unit to help me. But I'm trying to tell you, medical was poor in that system. We all human beings, no matter what we did to get there, we should all be treated and we are created equal. You're going to put me here, you're going to house me, you're going to make money off me. Give me the proper treatment I need because I'm here because you said I need to be here, but take care of me. I'm in your house. But that's not what they don't care. Prison about 2 things, profit and punishment. But while I was in prison, I turned my classroom, my cell into a classroom, in prison to a college. And as I went through that medical situation, they wouldn't take me to the hospital. But you know what I did? I knew a ship captain. I went down there, I talked to her, and I said, I don't want to die in prison. This ain't right. And she called the medical and she found out what's going on. And she said, don't go nowhere. I said, what's going on? She got me to Iowa City. She found out. I went to Iowa City, man, weighing 214 pounds. I had an episode in there. I came out weighing 136.8 pounds. I was eating through a feeding tube for 20 days. Didn't even know what's going to happen to my life. Didn't even think I was going to make it out of prison or out of this hospital alone. But look here, I'm standing here today because I kept my faith, man. No matter what I was doing, I never gave up on God. I believed in Him. Because once I gave my life to God, I believe in that word. You believe in Him, and He is who He say He is, then you got to stand on Him.
That's right.
You got to stand on Him, man. You believe in your woman, if she believe in you, stand on Him. When the bumps and bruises come, difficult times come, I don't care with your friends or whatever, know that it's going to happen. But it get too bad when they ain't worthy. Even keeping around, then let it go. Don't play tug of war with nothing. It ain't about pulling this person over to this side. Just let go of the rope, let them fall in their butts, so you can get out of here and keep going and going on with your life. This is how I live my life, by simple principles. I'm here. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Because all this stuff was against me, man. Think about it. I'm ending with this. My whole life, even though I didn't serve you, God's word is so true. I never leave you a Savior. You can do all things through Christ Jesus that strengthen you. You all fall short of the glory of God. All that stuff is so true. And you know what I mean? Because I can do anything I want to do because I'm free today within the means and rights of the law. I got my license for the first time at age 50. I drove my whole life, never had a license. But I'm thankful for these things. I respect the license. I'm out here thriving. And life is good, man. So I'm going to tell you with this. Believe in yourself. Surround yourself around good company. I went from prison to purpose. You can do it too. Because what I'm doing, you can do because somebody out there that did the same thing I've been through worse and made it out because they wanted to. And that's why I'm standing here, because I wanted this. And I pray that every person in this room wants something more than what they have. Do better, because you can be better. Thank you guys for your time.